What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Dermy Wormy. I'm coming at you with an episode 2 of the Acolyte reviews. Oh my lord. Leslie Headland, Dave Filoni, and Kathleen Kennedy did it again. It's so wonderful. It's so grand. I was wrong with my first episode review. I feel shame and remorse for denying their glory and their beautiful vision for the show. It is 110% made for the audience. It was designed for their audience, and they knew exactly who their audience was. YouTubers who wanted to rip into this, because my god, yet again, nothing happened. Nothing happened. It's some of the funniest stuff right from the beginning, because I could poke holes all day and night, especially some of the stuff they later on showed in the episode. But why don't we just hop on over to the episode, shall we? Because we start on some other planet, Oleg. Don't know much about it, but hey, it's a different planet. And we then go to the local Jedi temple here on Oleg, where we have weird creature pulling a cart for some random reason. And then diverse little girl grabs something from the cart and throws it at weird wall thing that turns out to be a little droid. And we've seen these droids before over in all sorts of other areas of Star Wars, so it's not a big deal. But okay, so we see it. It's speaking when it needs to speak, asking what's going on there. Then we watch as little girl turns around and says, you know, signals to somebody else. And the little girl signals to the droid, says, here, come over. And then, oh, look, it's May, as May throws something onto the security droid to lock it up, and she gets inside the temple relatively easily. Yeah, pretty darn easy to get into the temple. And I'm going to tell you, here soon, we find out that none of this was required. They just wanted a reason to show little diverse girl. Well, we hop into the temple and we see, oh, look, 2 Jedi. Yay. As May's trying to hide that she's in the temple, she watches that the Jedi walk away. And then I'm going to show this right now. She starts walking and passes some random person that wasn't there before, but is there now, and doesn't seem to care that this person sees her, but cares that the Jedi, oh, okay, you're in a Jedi temple. It's pretty obvious that you just blew your cover. So she starts walking and she gets into a room where Jedi Master is just sitting there meditating the entire time, suspended by the Force. And she stares him down and says, Master, come at me with all you got, as she prepares for combat, and then realizes he's not responding. He's just sitting there. And my god, is this scar bad looking. So she starts going like, okay, well then I'm just going to strike at the Jedi, and tries to punch him and sees, oh no, there's a weird a literal force field around her, a force field made by the Force. Like, she can't get in to attack him. And she keeps trying, throws weapons, punches it, does everything she can. She even does like a running jump kick at it and just falls down. There's no way she can get in. She then throws her knives, can't get through. You know what? After 1 or 2 punches, I'm pretty sure you don't need to keep fighting the force field to attack him. There's a force field. You got to find a different way in. But nope, just keep ramming yourself at it over and over again and make yourself look like a fool. I was laughing hysterically during this whole scene. So, okay, she then hears, oh no, the Jedi figured out that somebody's broken in. We need to go, you know, secure the temple. She then looks up and disappears as she jumps up at the ceiling. Dude walks in and looks around, sees nobody's there. Okay. And then he looks up and you see there's a window open. There's an opening right above the Jedi Master right there that she escaped through. So there was a passage here the entire time to just jump right down onto the Jedi Master, and you didn't have to do the whole opening bit that bit you in the butt later on. Why didn't you just come down through the ceiling? That's the big thing. You got out. Why didn't you know that this place was here at the beginning? That you're a professional assassin. You know what you're doing. Shouldn't you have scouted this place out? You knew how to get to this place. Shouldn't you have known there's a hole right here? We could have just come through that the entire time. But okay. Well, she's gone. Intro, yay. We hop over to the ship where we see twin sister. I don't remember. It's May and something else. Olish, whatever. And we see her just sitting there, laying on the thing. She sees Padawan trying to figure out some sort of mechanical stuff, and she says, "Oh yay, you try doing this." Padawan does it, and it starts working again. And she was like, "Oh, you must be a pilot." "Nope, I'm a mech tech." And Padawan's like, "I thought those were supposed to be for R2 units nowadays. It's illegal to do that." And she's like, "Well, yeah, but I'm more interesting than an R2 unit. I am more flexible." And then her little multi-tool droid starts whirling about, and then she says, "Oh yeah, and Pip's also very flexible." I think we had a subtle confirmation that Pip has a vibration function just for OSHA. Well, so then they start walking and talk. They start doing their thing. Soul walks by. Soul goes to talk to Yol and say, "Hey, we need to go, discuss something with the masters and stuff like that." And that's exactly what happens. Soul goes and talks to Green Hair Chick. Green Hair Chick informs them about a break-in over on Olga, and Soul's like, "Well, I guess we'll go over there. It's connected to our thing." So that's what they're doing. They're gonna go over to Olga because that's connected to everything right now, and that's exactly what they go and do. Go to Olga. I gotta be honest, I kind of tuned out from most of the Jedi stuff. So we come back here to May walking through the streets, covering her face, but doesn't appear to care if people see her. It's weird. I don't get it. And then walks into random house that later is confirmed to be an apothecary that I didn't know anything about. So she shows up and she starts, asking for Quarmy or whatever his name is. Squirmy. I don't really care. We see who she's looking for, and it's off-brand Ezra Miller. Yay! And he's like, "Oh, hey," because he fell asleep waiting for her last night. And he's like, "And I was drinking last night. So what do you need?" And Wormy's all like, "Oh, did you succeed? Did you do what you needed to do?" And she's all like, "No, there's this force field surrounding him. It's impenetrable. I don't know how to do it." And then tosses him a bag of stuff and says, "I need you to make me a poison." And he's all like, "Well, the master's not going to like that. You need to at least beat one of these guys without using any weapons whatsoever." And then they're like, "Well, no, how can I do it without using any weapons whatsoever? There's no weakness this guy has. So then why are you brewing up a poison?" Well, apparently it's important. So the dude says, "Well, I'm going to need a drink." And then he starts saying, "Everybody has a weakness. Even this guy has a weakness. It's your job to figure out what that weakness is," as he creates the poison for her. Yay. And then she walks off, and he's all like, "Okay." Then we see OSHA using her vibration droid to try to do something with a ship, and Soul comes by and goes like, "Hey, what are you doing?" She's like, "Well, I'm using my vibrator to try to pair into the ship so I can, check diagnostics, life supports, do all this stuff, fuel consumption, just out of the blue." I don't know why she wants to do this. I don't know why she really cares about this, but apparently she wants to check all these important information. And then Soul says, "Well, that's not really what I was asking about. I was more asking about that on your shoulder." And we see the tattoo, and she's like, "Oh, well, I got this drinking one day, a weird night on some other planet." And she's like, you don't like it and you don't approve, showing that she does have some care for what Soul thinks about her. I could give credit to that. I gotta be honest, I do kind of like Soul in this. So Soul's like, "No, I'm no longer a master. It's not that important." And then they start talking about May and how, May's going down a bad path. She can't let go of the past, and, it's important. And then he looks up at her, goes like, "Yeah, I try to teach you that." And she says, "You're a great teacher." And he goes like, "Maybe I wasn't that good of a teacher anyways." And it's sad. I'll admit it. I kind of like Soul. He's a decent dude. And then they get to the planet they need to get to, and they start just walking the streets to get to the Jedi Temple. And that's when they start, trying to say, "Hey, we're here because we think that this might be connected to our other job." Then we cut back to May now using the above part to get in. The thing she should have done from the get-go, but apparently she didn't know it existed, even though she should have done better recon. Okay, Jedi start filling Soul and all of them in on what happened last night. We had a break-in. Somebody tried to do something to Torben, and it's simple as that. And we watch as Fat Jedi carries Diverse Girl out. Then we cut over back to May walking up to Torben and starting to talk to Torben, saying, I know everything that you've done. Your past haunts you. We then cut right back over to Padawan and all them trying to figure out what's going on. And Padawan kneels down and asks Diverse Girl, so why did you do this? Who told you to do this? And Diverse Girl points over at Osha and says, she's the one that told me to do it, but she was wearing a hood that night. Okay, confirmation that May's here. Then Soul leans in and goes like, we need to speak with Master Torben. Jedi guys like Master Torben hasn't spoken to anybody in over 10 years. And Soul's like, he will talk to me. So they start deciding to lead him into Master Torben. We then come back over to May, who's, talking to the dude saying, I know you're in pain. I know you hate what you did. That's why you took this vow of silence and started meditating for the past several years. So this is your choice. Either confess your crimes to the Jedi Council or confess your crimes to me. As she lays the poison down in front of him. And remember, last episode with Carrie and Moss, we had this okay fight scene. Not that great, but Carrie Moss ended up dying because a butter knife got thrown onto her chest, and she was like, eh. This time, it's more pathetic because Master Torben, as he's meditating there and everybody comes in, opens his eyes finally. After 10 years, calms down from his meditation, looks May in the eye and goes like, I'm so sorry. Then we cut back over to, all the other guys doing their thing, and Osha sees a vision of May and immediately starts following it. Yod ends up following May, Osha, whichever one. One of the twins. They're hard to keep track because they look exactly the same. That's not a racism joke. They didn't take even the modicum of time to give them different hairdos. So, White Jedi Master apologizing on his knees in front of May goes like, I'm sorry. And just takes the poison, killing himself. Harry and Moss had this mega fight scene, and this Jedi just kills himself. Okay. He's so depressed that he just got it. Okay, kill the white Jedi, just cries and dies. That's all it is. And then May's gone, obviously, through the roof again. Osha comes down, comes to the body, sees him dead, picks up a vial, smells it, closes the eyes, realizes, looks up, easy to figure out how they got in and got out. Jedi come in and goes like, oh my God, you did it. Don't move. Start explaining. And then she's like, I know how it was poison. And then Yod says, yeah, she didn't do it. I was following her. We came in when he was dead. It was simple enough. And then Osha hands vial over to Soul. Soul's all, smells it. And then Osha's like, Osha? May? I don't know. They're the same thing. She says, this comes from my home planet. This style of poison. Okay, that's important. We then cut over to the streets as we watch Discount Ezra Miller walking through the streets, goes over to the apothecary. We get some whole, like, hey, is this the only apothecary in town? Yes, but this isn't the guy he usually is, as the fat Jedi guy is doing the spying. So then they go like, okay, well, we need a plan of attack. How do we get in? And Yul says a very logical, by-the-books plan. We'll go in there, we'll stun him, and we will then interrogate him back on the ship. Then Padawan chick's all like, yeah, but how about this? We have Osha here. We disguise Osha as May, send her in because obviously they have a connection and get information that way and then record it. Problem is, they don't know what May looks like. Osha doesn't know how May acts, and they're just going to go with this plan. There's a buy-a-books plan that would work just fine. But we're going to go with the young Padawan's plan that has full of contradictions and holes. And Soul's all like, that's a good plan. No, that's a dumb plan. That's a very bad plan. Just because it ends up working out doesn't mean that it's a good plan. But okay, they go with that plan. So they send Osha down there. Osha grabs a robe and stuff and wraps herself up, and that's apparently enough to disguise herself and not freak the guy out. And she comes in and just goes like, hey, Discount Ezra Miller's like, hey, and they have, hey, hi, whatever. And they start discussing back and forth, and Discount Ezra Miller's like, hey, oh, I know why you're here. You're here because you beat him without using the poison, right? And he's all like, no, I had to use the poison. And then they keep talking. It's like, man, he's going to be so proud of you. The master's going to be so proud. And then Soul's like, yo, go ahead, go, move. As they then bust in the door, surrounding the place, and capture the guy as they start interrogating him. So all you did was get a recording of him confirming that he was a part of it, and then doing exactly what Yul said. Okay, so they're then talking to the guy like, we know you were a part of this, just start talking with us. And dude's like, don't mind wipe me or do whatever you do. And you know, he just immediately rats him out, says, I don't know who the High Master guy is. Nobody really knows who he is. But, you know, May's going around trying to get 4 Jedi in total and take him out because of some revenge. And, you know, just rats out the whole plan. And then they're like, well, we have to figure out where she's going. And he's all like, hey, tonight, May's going to come back here. I have some stuff for her that she has to pick up, and then she's going to leave, okay? So their plan of attack is to wait for May to show up, and then they'll take her on tonight and subdue her. Smart plan. Yeah, a decent plan. So, okay, that's what they end up doing. So we end up waiting for nightfall. Yod's all posted up, watching the whole place. Padawan's over at the ship, ready to come in and, you know, arrest everybody. And then Soul's over with Osha, talking with them. And Osha's like, I need to be going there with you, okay? May needs to, I need to confront May because of what she did. She ruined our life. She did all sorts of horrible stuff. And Soul's like, no, can't do it. You're not letting go of the past. This here is going to hurt you, and it's going to be bad. You need to let go of all this grief. Obviously, your sister's out for revenge, and I don't want you going out for revenge. So that's what he does. He goes out there because it's pretty obvious that May's going to end up wanting to kill him, and he just wants to get it over with, essentially. So Soul starts heading there. Then Yod looks, and we see May showing up. Everybody's ready. Soul shows up and says, you killed Indara. You killed Lady Jedi, and you killed Master Torben, didn't you, May? And May's all like, yes, I did, and starts trying to attack him. Soul's just brushing off each attack, not having any trouble. Long fight scene choreography. Soul's putting up more of a fight than sad white guy. Soul ends up, you know, taking away all of her knives, and she's now slightly disarmed, and he's all like, you need to tell me what's going on here. Why did you do this? And May's all like, I am not going to do it, as she begins fighting. Osha then taps into their comms to start listening in on what's happening. It is what it is. Soul keeps fighting. Soul then knocks her down, stops her with the force, kind of has her pinned down, and he starts saying, tell me about the master, and starts digging in her mind. She breaks free, and he goes like, well, you couldn't tell me about the master even if you wanted to. You don't even know who your master is. Huh, interesting. He's gone through a lot of trouble not making sure that people don't know who his identity is. Yeah, because I'm willing to bet that it's Carrie-Anne Moss or the green chick at the very end. So then May prepares another attack as she has another knife there as it comes down via the force in a very kind of etchy, kind of CGI way. Gets in his hand, and then May's all like, I need to avenge you because you guys killed my family. You know, you caused my family to die, and my sister's dead. And then Soul's all like, no, your sister's alive. That revelation causes May to attack in anger, gets saved by Yold, and Yold's like, no, it's true, she is alive, yay. And then now realizing that she's surrounded, everybody's all over her, she's under arrest, she's running out of ideas, so she uses the force to make a dust cloud so she could escape. And as she escapes, all the Jedi don't know where she is. Then they're like, we're gonna go to the main gate to make sure that she doesn't escape. Osha here hears about it and then goes like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead too. We end up watching May running away, gets hit by a speeder, knocked down on the ground. Weird alien creature comes out to check on her. She attacks weird alien creature to get the speeder. Osha shows up with the stun gun, and May looks at her, goes like, Oshi, And then Osha just looks at her and starts blasting the beam. And then May runs away. Soul shows up, looks disappointed. May looks down, disappointed. And then we have back on the ship, Soul's talking to green hair chick like, hey, we gotta hurry up. We know where she's going. She's gonna go to this planet to go take on the Wookiee Jedi. And they're like, no, you have to come back to the council. We have to discuss this. We have to have a small council meeting so we can plan out our next move. We then cut back to Discount Ezra Miller. He's trying to hide out because the Jedi are there. Then just so happens that female Jedi whacks up to Fatty Magoo, and Fatty Magoo quits doing his job. Just then, May shows up, starts trying to attack Discount Ezra Miller. Discount Ezra Miller pins her up against the wall and then says, listen, okay, I know I sold you out to the Jedi, but I have good news for you. I know where the Wookiee guy is, okay? And she's all like, oh, where? And we see it. Forest planet of Kofar or whatever. And we have this whole thing with like people speaking Hutt. And then we see Wookiee Jedi there going at his thing. And then end of episode. That's it. That's all that happened. We just have May knowing Osha's alive. Osha confirming that May's alive. White Jedi guy basically murks himself. He does all this stuff. And it's boring. It's more boring. And again, I stand by the position that Leslie Headland exactly knew who her target audience was. It's YouTubers tearing into this because nobody else is going to enjoy what they saw tonight. Nobody's going to care about this. And by the end of these 8 weeks, I'm willing to bet this isn't going to move the needle on anybody, and in fact is going to hurt Disney Star Wars even more. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video go live, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.